Welcome inside another edition of Vikings Update. I'm Mark Potts, Sports Information Director. We're joined this week by Chris Johnson, head coach of the Viking track and field teams. We'll ask him about his National Player of the Week honor that Siri Geisler earned in women's javelin. First, we have plenty of results to get to: baseball, softball, all that, golf, and more. It's coming up now on Vikings Update. Viking softball leads the show this week after posting a 6-0 record in conference games. Vikings hosted rival University of Jamestown on April 26th. Game 1 belonged to the Vikings as they racked up 12 hits and 10 runs in a 10-1 victory over the Jimmies. VCSU scored 8 runs in the third inning, getting a solo home run by Tatum Lundeen, and then this 3-run blast by Cassie Pouts, her second straight game with a 3-run home run. 8 different Vikings had hits in the victory. Morgan Nally earned the win in the circle, going all 5 innings and allowing just 5 hits and a run. VCSU ended the game early by run rule. In Game 2, Vikings struck first on a solo home run by C.J. Hillhorse, going on top 1-0. Jamestown responded with a 2-run home run and built a 4-1 lead, but some strong defensive plays by the Vikings' Kelsey Hamadi and C.J. Hillhorse kept it close. Vikings trailed 4-1 entering the bottom of the 7th inning and were down to their final out, but they mounted a rally, 4 runs on 2 outs, winning the game in walk-off fashion. Morgan Nally delivered the winning hit, a sharp 2-run single back up the middle. Katie Cameron went 3 for 4 and scored 2 runs for the Vikings. Kathleen Goulet earned the win pitching in relief. Softball closed out the regular season with 4 more wins at Dakota State University on Friday, rolled easily to 11-1 and 9-2 victories, and then on Sunday the Vikings completed the sweep, winning 6-4 and 6-0. Vikings now 36-11 overall, tying a school record for wins. They finished 17-5 in conference play, VCSU receiving votes again in this week's top 25 poll. Strong week for sophomore pitcher Kathleen Goulet, who had 3 wins and a save and did not allow an earned run all week. She was named the North Star Pitcher of the Week. Vikings were also announced as the number 2 seed for the upcoming North Star Athletic Association Softball Championships. VCSU will play number 7 seed Mayville State Friday at 11 a.m. Tournament runs May 6th to 9th in Aberdeen, South Dakota. The champion there advances to the NAI National Championship opening round. Moving on to baseball, where Valley City State posted a 3-3 record this week. Vikings opened with a tough 16-14 loss in extra innings at the University of Winnipeg. On Saturday, they hosted Dickinson State for final conference series of the season. Vikings took care of business in Game 1 with an offensive outburst, 13 hits and 9 runs, en route to a 9-1 victory over the Blue Hawks. Vikings broke the game open with 5 runs in the third inning, building an early 6-0 lead. That's all Vikings starting pitcher David Whitaker would need as he cruised to a complete game victory. Whitaker gave up just 4 hits and 1 run, struck out 6. He had a shutout through 8 innings. Brady Anderson went 4 for 5 at the plate with 3 RBIs, and 4 other Vikings had 2 hits each. Game 2 of the series was a thriller, going to extra innings. Tied at 5 in the bottom of the 8th, VCSU junior Joe Demers delivered this walk-off 3-run home run, capping off an 8-5 victory for the Vikings. VCSU's top of the order, Jared Micklejohn, Demers, Anderson, and Jake Rambo combined for 8 hits and 7 RBIs in the win. Alan Sandoval earned the win on the mound, working 4 innings in relief for the Vikings. On Sunday, the doubleheader belonged to Dickinson State. The Blue Hawks rallied from a 6-0 deficit to win Game 1, 8-7, and then in Game 2, Dickinson earned a 9-2 victory. For his complete game performance against the Blue Hawks on Saturday, Whitaker was named the North Star Athletic Association Pitcher of the Week. He set down 16 of the first 17 batters he faced in a 9-inning complete game. Vikings closed out the regular season Tuesday with a big win at University of Mary, pouncing all over the Marauders in a 15-2 win. VCSU scored 7 runs in the third inning to build a commanding 11-0 lead. Stephen Velarde earned his first win of the season on the mound, allowing just 2 hits and a run in 4 innings. Vikings closed the regular season with a 19-33 overall record. They are the number 8 seed for the NSAA Baseball Championships. Vikings take on top seed Bellevue at 3 p.m. Friday in Valley City. VCSU hosting tournament games Friday and Saturday. University of Jamestown hosting the rest of the tournament May 6th through the 9th. In track and field, Viking freshman Siri Geisler was named the NAI National Field Athlete of the Week after her record-breaking javelin throw of 163 feet 6 inches back on April 22nd. That was a new school record, a new meet record, and is the top throw in the NAI since 2014, so a National Player of the Week honor for Geisler. Geisler and the Vikings were in action again this past weekend at the Al Cassell Relays in Jamestown. Siri had another strong day in javelin, setting a new meet record with a throw of 48.65 meters. She also broke a school record in shot put with a distance of 12.98 meters. Caitlin Connor had a solid day jumping for the Viking women, placing 5th in long jump and 6th in triple jump. Alexandra Cardenas added a 4th place finish in the 5,000-meter run for VCSU. Viking men also competed on a windy day at the Alka-Seltz relays. VCSU's runners had a strong showing in the 400 meters, taking 4 of the top 5 places. Nicholas Ernst led the way, followed by Oren Rambo, Oscar Saniga, and Casey Engelhard. Lenzel Koskela posted strong times in the sprints, placing 3rd in the 100 and 5th in the 200. Alex Askeruth placed 2nd in the steeplechase. Dylan Thomas had 2 top 8s in the hurdles, and Elwood Ellenson added a pair of 8th place finishes in javelin and triple jump. Handful of Viking track and field athletes will compete this weekend at the Mazans Invitational in Moorhead. Following that is the conference meet NSAA Outdoor Championships set for May 12th to 13th in Forest City, Iowa. A pair of future Vikings to announce this week. On the basketball court, Viking women have added Kennedy Henningsgaard, an NJCAA All-American who played at Lake Region State College the past 2 seasons, and Viking volleyball has signed Paulette Medina, a talented outside hitter from Coffeyville Community College in Kansas. Viking golf wrapped up the spring season at the NSAA Spring Qualifier, April 25th to 26th in Lincoln, Nebraska. Results were combined with the Fall Qualifier to complete a 72-hole conference championship. The men placed 4th out of 7 teams. Senior Ben Sorensen led the way with a 315 total over 72 holes, good for 10th place. Tyler Bockel was in 12th. Jared Lentz and Kyle Wee both added top 20s. Sorensen and Bockel were both named second team all-conference after placing in the top 12, so congrats to Tyler and Ben. Viking women placed 5th out of 7 teams. Nicole Heinitz was the top Viking, recording a 15th place finish in the 72-hole standings. Hillary Christopherson did not play the fall meet, but had a strong spring meet with rounds of 89 and 98. Our guest this week on Vikings Update, Chris Johnson, head track and field coach here at Valley City State. And coach, just wrapped up the Alka-Seltz relays over in Jamestown. Kind of your final big meet before the conference tournament. What are your thoughts on where some of the athletes are as we head down the stretch here of the track season?
I think it's pretty clear some of the athletes need some rest. We've been rolling for a few weeks here, going to meets, and I think it's about that time where some take a weekend off. I'm a big proponent of taking a weekend off before conferences for some of the athletes, and we've got a few that are close to qualifying for nationals. We've got one that already has. So you just try to put them in the best position to succeed moving into conference. I think the Alka-Seltz relays was successful from that standpoint. We got some athletes, even some rest that weekend, who needed it. And then we had some pretty solid performances on the track as well. Lenzel ran a great double in the 100 and 200. We went 1, 2, 3 in the 400. And then, Siri doing her record-breaking thing, as usual, on the women's side. So it was pretty exciting.
Yeah, you mentioned one athlete qualifying for nationals already. That, of course, is Siri Geisler. Set a new school record in women's javelin just over a week ago. She's broken a couple meet records, and she has the top throw in the NAI so far in women's javelin. That's huge, isn't it, for our program and also for her? But talk about the job she's done for you this year.
It's been such an amazing story, I think, in general. She wasn't originally going to come out for track. She's focused on volleyball and then going from there. And she came out indoors, broke the school record in the first meet. She had a shot put. I knew it was going to be something special. And qualified for nationals, went to nationals, did fairly well. But at the same time, I told her from the start, I was like, Siri, you're going to be better at the javelin than you are in shot put. And she was like, really? No idea. Like, she had no idea how to throw it. She hadn't even learned it. She hadn't picked up a javelin before until March. And so in the past month and a half, she has developed so much. She has that natural ability. As a volleyball player, the spiking motion, when you spike a volleyball down, is similar to throwing a javelin. Okay. She has a natural arm from being a softball pitcher in high school. And then I think she benches about 210. So, all these things kind of come together, and I was like, man, she's got the makeup, she's got the build to do it. I just didn't think, personally, and I believe in my athletes, there's no question about that, but I didn't think it was going to come along this quickly. What she's done in the course of a few weeks, each meet, improving, doing better, hitting better positions, throwing further, as you've seen, breaking meet records, breaking conference records, school records, has really, really been incredible. And she's along for the ride, and she's been so humble about it, which is really great.
And as you mentioned, she has a top throw in the NAI. She'll enter the national meet not only as an All-American contender, but as a national champion contender. So that's definitely very exciting. But she's the one you have qualified so far. A couple other athletes are close. Tell us a little bit about them.
Malik Jackson is pretty close in the 400. He's just off the time, and I think he just really needs a good race to get going with some good competition. We're going down to Dickinson on Thursday. They'll compete Friday. The weather's supposed to be mid-80s, nice and warm, which is great for sprinters. Sure. He'll have some competition there, and then obviously conferences the next week, and he's excited, and we're building him towards that point. And our goal right now, he's a number one in the conference by about a second in the 400. So our goal is not just to hopefully qualify for nationals, but to become a conference champion. And that's something that Malik has not done individually, and he's come really, really close to a few times. And so that's our goal heading into that. And then Andrew Hanratty, another freshman who shouldn't really be flying under the radar, but he's been playing football, doing spring football, and we've kind of rested him this past weekend to get him ready for the next couple meets. But his first meet, he went out outdoors, went out and jumped 23 feet in a long jump. Furthest jump in, I believe, 81 years at Valley City State, number 2 all time. He only jumped 21.10 in high school. Well, only jumped 21.10. It's a pretty good leap. But he didn't have a whole lot of coaching. He came from a small town of St. John in North Dakota, and he came in here willing to learn and willing to get better. And he's done some amazing things, in terms of technical improvements and in terms of just that, stepping up to the competitive atmosphere, of the team and at the meets and stuff like that as a freshman, which is, pretty incredible.
So a couple other athletes close, hopefully getting some good performances from them down here in the last couple weeks. In the conference meet, have you set some team goals or some goals for your team, maybe a number of individual championships, top threes, that type of stuff?
Yeah, those individuals as well as our 4x4 relay has been very, very solid the entire season. We took second indoors at the meet, broke the school record by about 5 or 6 seconds. Our goal outdoors is to run even faster. The school record's 3:21, which is a good run for that that team, and that was, gosh, I don't know, it was early 80s, I believe. And hopefully we can get down to that point and run another solid race, get all conference in that event. Right now we're ranked number 1 and 2 in the 400, and I believe 5th. So our goal is to get a lot of points in that event, but to spread out the points to different events. We've got individuals and events this year that they have not had in teams in years past, in the field events, different track events, sprinting events, who can contribute to that. And obviously, the throwing events like javelin, we've got 3 or 4 guys in the top 10 in the javelin in the conference. We've got Siri on the women's side, number 1 by I think like 40 feet. So that's going to be a big point scorer that was not there indoors. And we're just looking to take advantage of those things as we're moving forward.
All right, Coach, appreciate the time today. Definitely looking forward to see what the athletes can do here down the stretch. Thanks.
Thanks for having me, Mark.